topics. But in the meantime, Raoul, we were talking a little bit off camera about your view of what's happening in the Bitcoin and Ethereum space and the relative valuations.
So I have been talking about on the daily briefing for a long time about the chart of Ethereum following exactly the chart of Bitcoin 2017. So much so that I've got it set up on my Bloomberg and it's tick for tick. And I tweeted it out this week about the sell-off. It's like, yeah, this is expected and it should turn around today, and it did. It's kind of spooky, but there's a number of things that I look at suggest, and again, we've talked about this endlessly, that this November-December period is very positive. But the chart I think is the most important chart right now is the chart of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It's currently at 0.074. At 0.08, it breaks out of this lovely pennant pattern and a larger basing pattern that goes for years. It looks like its performance will double versus Bitcoin. Ethereum, as of today, is up 480% this year, and Bitcoin's up 100%. It tells you something crazy is about to happen in crypto markets. Does that mean that other tokens outperform Ethereum? Probably. It feels like we're getting close to the final crazy phase that often happens. How long that goes on for, I've got a different view on that. I think I've talked about it before. There's a lot of institutional allocation that's going to come in January, February, March. New hedge fund P&Ls all coming in. I think this cycle extends much further than people imagine and goes much higher in price. But we're right in the sweet spot for what traditionally would be a very strong market, and Ethereum should be the leader.
Well, explain what that chart does and exactly how you built it and why.
The chart overlays Ethereum now with Bitcoin back in 2017. I started looking at it when I got attacked for talking about Ethereum about a year and a bit ago on Twitter, and people were like, you're cheating on us with Ethereum. It's a scam coin. I'm like, well, I'm going to look into this. And I started looking at Metcalfe's law and network adoption models and all of this. And I realized that Ethereum looked like Bitcoin did at exactly the same number of wallet addresses. I'm like, huh. And it was trading at the same price. I'm like, huh. And then I put one price over the other and they were the same. So that chart is a previous, basically Ethereum came out 5 years later than Bitcoin and seems to lag it by a cycle. And bizarrely, Solana and Terra are lagging Ethereum by a cycle. So Ethereum had a huge end of year back in 2017. It would suggest that those two would too. It's a weird function. I think it's to do with network effects. Why it does it tick for tick is just pure voodoo. And at some point, the correlation will break apart, and that's fine. It's just hellishly amusing to watch because it's like, it's thumbing your nose at all of us who've tried to use these comparison charts before, and then they fail immediately when you look at them. And this one just refuses to fail, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's like the Soros line about when something refuses to go away, that should. It's something to take a look at. And by the way, isn't it funny that they're only chart crimes until they become common sense?
Oh, that expression, chart crime, really annoys me.
Me too.
Really, really annoys me. There's always some guys like, well, you should have put that one on a log scale. How dare you put two different things on the same chart? It's like, get over it. It's just contextualization. That's all we're trying to do, is we're trying to contextualize things. Nobody's expecting perfection here. We're just contextualizing.
Yeah. By the way, talking about Ethereum and DeFi, I wanted to take a look at a clip. This is Jim Bianco talking to Campbell Harvey. He's a professor at Duke University about the nature of DeFi. Let's take a look at that really quick.
And decentralized finance is just an algorithm. So it's a formula. And the algorithm is completely open source. So you can see the actual algorithm. It's not hidden. You can see what the formula is. You can see what the liquidity is in the decentralized exchange. You can have a good idea of what the slippage will be when you actually do a trade. And there is the equivalent of like limit order book. All of this stuff is possible in decentralized exchange. And again, I know it's difficult to envision a system like this, but it is remarkable to me that the algorithm, which you refer to as an automated market maker, it doesn't care if you're buying or selling. It's just a formula. That's it.
There you have it, Jim Bianco and Professor Campbell Harvey at Duke University. Really interesting piece, a big picture look at this, particularly for people who haven't been following the space too closely. I think it does a very good job of contextualizing exactly what's happening here. By the way, Raoul, talking of contextualizing what's happening here, we've got a bit of news, don't we?
Yeah, so I did get off this island for the first time in 21 months to go on holiday, but I'm getting off the island again. And this time it's to go to an event. And I'm not going to go to a lot of events anymore because just traveling, it takes too much time and it's hard work. But this is a Real Vision event, and it's in conjunction with MGM in Las Vegas. And I think it's going to be a hell of an event. So it's all crypto. We've got some incredible people. So everybody from the guys talking about social tokens through to the people talking about DeFi, through to looking at the macro, through to hedge funds, through to DAOs, and all of the kind of NFTs. And it's kind of a rock star group of people. So I just thought I have to go. I have to go. So I'm going to be talking to Bill Tai, one of the first talks. And Bill and I always have a great conversation. He's just one of the best people in the space. We're going to be talking NFTs, DAOs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to be going to the drinks parties, which will be fun because I've not been in kind of huge groups of people. There's not that many people in the Cayman Islands, but there's a lot of people going to this. So I'm really looking forward to this. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot, and all of the kind of favorites of Real Vision are going to be there. Are you coming along, Ash?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah. So we're all going to be there. All the gang's going to be hanging out, probably drinking too much, probably enjoying themselves a lot, and just getting to say hi to people. So there are tickets left. So the early bird discount is running out super fast. It's limited by number. So if you are interested in coming, you better go quick. I think they'll be gone by end of today. But there are tickets available for the broader event. It's at a decent sized venue, so we can expand it a bit. But come and join us. It should be a lot of fun. It's the first time I'll have seen pretty much anybody in the broader world. I've not seen you, Ash, for 2 years.
2 years, yeah, since late 2019. By the way, Raoul, you've taken the high ground, talked about the important issues we're going to be talking about, all of which is completely true, but it's also going to be a hell of a party. We should point out that this isn't just the event, isn't just at the MGM Grand. MGM is a partner of Real Vision, so we're going to be doing events all over Las Vegas at all of their properties. It's going to be an incredibly exciting event and a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there are some great parties. There's and Shannon, who's organised it, has found some amazing venues. And yeah, MGM have laid it all on for us. So it should be pretty special. And there's a lot of people flying in from all over the place for it. So I'm looking forward to this.
And your first Real Vision post-COVID event in person.
Real Vision post-code? What does that mean?
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I missed the party in New York. Because we've still got quarantine. I've still got my tracking bracelet on here. So I can't leave the house until Tuesday. But the quarantine gets lifted next week. I came back a week. I should have come back a week later, but I didn't. And so then we can come back in a lot easier. So yes, I've not really been able to travel. And as I said, I'm certainly not going to travel a lot, and I'm not going to go around to all the events. There's too many, and I've got too much going on. But this is a Real Vision event, and it's pretty special.
Yeah, it's going to be the event, I think, of the year, although it's taking place in December. It's going to be great to get together with people from Real Vision, people who are Real Vision viewers in person. We had a great time at the party in New York. I think this is just going to be on a bigger scale.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll be in the teeth of the massive crypto rally, the final hurrah for the year. And then we can all buy champagne and spray it around, not even drink it.
It would be great if it worked out that way. Raoul, talking of which, lots of questions coming in for us right now. I want to hit a couple of them before we call it a week here. This one comes to us from Mark A. Jones. This is coming to us through the exchange. That's Real Vision's internal social network. And the question is, how would you expect the crypto space to react to an equity drawdown or risk-off event? Is crypto a diversifier, or is it an added risk to a traditional portfolio? It's a great question.
It depends what kind of sell-off. If it is a something's happened, China's invaded Taiwan, it's all going down. If it is the equity market rolls over and falls by 20% slowly over a matter of a few months, crypto's not going down. So it's to do with, are positions being liquidated, or is this just a general lull in markets? So it's only the short, sharp shops that hit crypto, I think.
Yeah. Here's a great question, another crypto-related question that comes to us from Omar B., also from the exchange. And the question is, Raoul and Ash, I've been following your incredible crypto journey. What do you think is the next narrative? Right now, there are more things like metaverse tokens, or is it DAOs and community tokens? It's a lot of questions.
So I think community and social tokens are later. I think they're really a year and next year and the year after, they'll start picking up steam. I think the metaverse is front and center right now. I think DAOs are going to get interesting. We're going to see the DAO structures around asset management that's going to get interesting as well. So there's a lot still to come. There's probably another wave of innovation coming out of DeFi. NFTs have obviously been the hot ticket, and that's not going to die down for the time being. Then it's the other layer one protocols. You know, the Solana, Avalanche, Terra, that kind of stuff. So there's actually too much to look at right now. But I think further out the risk curve, social tokens is later. Tokenization of real estate is even later than that. Coming closer is probably, asset management is coming. The rest of this year is about the layer ones. Yeah, I think mainly the layer ones and NFTs.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that the things that are tokenization of real world assets, things that require lawyers and accountants to do take a little bit longer than things that are done with code alone. Mark, here's my insight on this. The fascinating thing that I get from my seat here at Real Vision, talking to all these different people, is that people who are in different spaces, they're doing this. Their head is down. They're focused on the thing that they're working on, whether it's NFTs or the metaverse or DeFi. And very often they're not seeing things that are happening outside of their little sphere of influence. So what's fascinating to me is that all of these sort of individual threads are continuing to grow on their own. So it's not as though people are switching gears. They're continuing to work on the thing. Go ahead, yeah.
I mean, that's the key thing here is, I can't remember who explained this to me, but basically we're running tens of thousands of, probably tens of thousands of economic experiments in real time. We've never done this before. We've never been able to test business models. That one fails. We've learned from that one. We'll move on to that one. The rate of innovation and adaptation in this space is mind-blowing, because everybody's focusing on their bit.
Yes.
And there's a group of people focusing on that. They're all watching what each other's doing, watching the successes, the failures, and then a new group come in because they've learned, here's another way of doing it. We've never seen business models being tested at such rapidity, because they can raise capital with such rapidity and such ease. It's truly something to behold.
Yeah, it really is. I just did an interview with Tasha Che, who was talking about the.
Oh, how was that?
Fantastic. You're going to love it. It's a great piece.
She's brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Former PhD from Georgetown in macroeconomics, and she's eyebrow deep in this space, thinking about really, I think, applying traditional macro models to the world of DeFi and digital assets more broadly. And she had this fascinating point, which was, hey, wait, stay tuned for the intersection of DeFi and NFTs. NFTs effectively make this sort of like a YouTube effect where everyone could be a content creator. Now everyone can be an asset creator. A really fascinating analysis about how those spaces might intersect.
Yeah, and also I still linger on Yatsui's thoughts about not only culture as an investment, but universal basic equity. That by being part of these communities, you have a token. And if that community thrives because you enjoy its culture and you want to help it, your token goes up. So you're creating assets out of not traditional, I'm looking at the balance sheet of General Electric.
Right.
You're doing something wildly different here, which is creating a community and a culture and helping it grow. And